Alright, so here is the first, quote, real, unquote, challenge in this Gacha Love event, which is Truly, Madly, Deeply. So, as many of you probably expect at this point, the third challenge of the event isn't really that hard, at least for long-time players. They design a lot of these third challenges aimed at level 60 players, and I think that's a pretty good approach. You need to let the mid-game players be able to clear some of these as well. So, being that this is a Valentine's event, we of course are out looking for couples in the wild, who are being too obnoxious with their public displays of affection, so we're going to beat the crap out of them to teach them a lesson. In this fight there's a lot of fixed damage flying around, but some of it can be dispelled, especially the aura that they put up. So a good approach is to bring some dispels like Roar or Almeida, who can cast AoE dispels. Pretty much all the fixed damage in this fight is unresistible, so you can't really solve it by bringing Meditation Ring or something. But Roar, or even Battle Cry, is pretty well distributed amongst the SR and R characters, so even if you don't have an SSR character ready to do this, there's a couple choices for you. Obviously in this video I brought Kirikaze. He's still a pretty good PvE character, Air Slash, Roar, cooldown reduction. But there are some other options. You can bring Roga, or you can bring Lewin. Lewin especially has Battle Cry and Roar, so he does a pretty good job dispelling these PvE maps. Obviously, if you're doing this with SSR characters, you can bring, the standard, Elwyn, Yulia, they're all good here. What I will say about all the nice free-to-play options like Kirikaze and Lewin is that you'll notice that all of them are in the Origins faction, and that works out pretty well because Freya's a good tank for this fight anyway. Now, aside from dealing out a lot of annoying fixed damage, the deal with each of these guys is that the guy does extra damage against other guys, and the girl does extra damage against other girls when they use their single target attack. The loved up boy does physical damage, and the loved up girl does magical damage. So a pretty easy way to tackle this is to bring a female tank that has a physical guard, and a male tank that has a magical guard. Unfortunately, there's really no guy tanks that have only magical guards, especially amongst the SR and R characters. But honestly, it doesn't matter that much, as long as you manipulate the AI properly. Now bringing Freya, or Serena, if you really want to bring her, to tank the physical attacks is fine. But for the magical attacks, the simple solution is to just put angels in front of one of your characters and just have them eat the hit. In this fight, you'll also see me use Kirikaze to eat a hit from the female boss a few times, even though he has no angels. If you're at a lower level and you don't think you can handle that, then, Matthew can take the hit just fine. He has angels. You can bring Amarek, he has angels. Now when you kill one of them in this fight, the other one increases their attack and intelligence by 50%. Obviously, if you're level 70, it doesn't matter. But if you are a lower level and your characters aren't as built, then you just need to balance your damage between the two. Honestly, the mechanics in this fight are relatively simple, so it really just comes down to it being a stat check. Every few turns, the loved up boy will actually teleport the loved up girl next to him. Now, if they're too close together, they also gain a little bit of attack and intelligence. Again, if your stats are too low to handle this, you just have to split them up, which isn't too hard to do. You just need to remember the basics of how the AI functions in this game, which is that melee units will generally target ranged units, and ranged units will generally target melee units. So you can just position your units so that they will split apart a little bit. Now, since in that case you might need to split up your team a little bit, obviously characters like Chris, or characters that have Holy Word, are pretty useful here. And Almeida, of course, has her map wide heal from her talent. Overall, it's a pretty easy challenge. Overall, I think the biggest problem that lower level players will run into is not so much that they won't have the stats built for this fight, but rather that because when you're starting out, you're focusing on maybe 5 or 6 units, you might not have the right units built for this fight. I do think pretty much every character you see in this video can be replaced by someone else. Really, the only thing you need to worry about is bring some dispels and bring a female tank maybe to take the physical attacks, and have a male character of some kind who can take the hit from the magical boss. Anyway, not a whole lot left to say, so I'll see you guys in the next video.
行くぞ。
どうかしましたか。すみません。ここここ。よろしくお願いしますね。はい、ここここ。よろしくお願いしますね。
行くぞ。そこだ。
いくよ。
任せるでござる。
どうかしましたか。これはあまり使いたくないですよね。はい、ここここ。
任せるで行くぞ。はっ。
いくよ。
任せるでござる。行くぞ。
どうかしましたか。はい、いくよ。はい、これはあまり使いたくないですよね。こっちだよ。ここここ。いくよ。こっちだよ。
行くぞ。任せるでござる。